You already know it's Molove, and I'm back at it again with a positive message. So let's get straight to it. So tonight I got my notes with me. For those who don't know, I always be writing. But sometimes I will come on camera and I would just speak from the dome, from the heart. And other times, I come with some notes. Like this particular subject in specifically, I believe, is something that needs to be addressed. Because it's running rampant right now, all around us. But it's just not evident to most people who are not paying attention. You perhaps may be one. Yeah, of course, it's no secret. You already know what the title is. Why do most people end up in toxic relationships? Are you currently in a toxic relationship? You may or may not know you are in a toxic relationship. And if so, how did you get there? Forget that. Why are you still there? I'm not knocking you. No, I'm not knocking you. Because after going within, because look, many of you know that I do read a lot, I research a lot, I seek knowledge a lot. Yeah, hence why I'm this deep, this intelligent, because I'm always seeking knowledge, because I want to be the best version of myself possible, period. Get it? However, I don't always search the web to bring you information. That's what many of you don't know. You see, when you sit in the sun, you meditate, you get information from the sun. I'm always barefoot in nature. Therefore, I'm letting my antennas coil up, lock up, so I'm getting these downloads. Anyways, I have 9 reasons why most people, or let me not say most people, 9 reasons why people would end up in toxic relationships, right? And the reasons are as follows. The first one, afraid to be alone. You're afraid to be alone. So, because of the fact that you're afraid to be alone, you choose, because it's a choice. It's a choice. You're choosing to remain in that toxic relationship, constantly being hurt over and over and over again, complaining about it, but doing nothing about it, though. And remember, another word for toxic is poisonous. And what does poison do you over time, though? Kills you slowly, right? So that's the first reason why you perhaps ended up in a toxic relationship, or you're in one and you're refusing to leave because you're afraid to be alone. But why are you afraid to be alone, though? Alone is where your power lies. And if you're not happy in a relationship, if you don't feel at peace, if you're not being treated the way you think you should be treated on a consistent basis, why wouldn't you show yourself self-love by walking away from such a toxic interaction? Of course, this doesn't apply to you if you're not in a toxic relationship. If you're watching this and you are in one, don't let the fear of being alone stop you from being happy and leaving what could be a potentially life-inflicting relationship, or life-changing on a huge negative scale. Oh, the music went. That's all good. We don't need it anyways. Moving on. Next point. Low self-esteem. That's another reason why people may end up in a toxic relationship and may choose to stay in a toxic relationship. Right? Which is why it's important while you're in a relationship that you continuously work on yourself. And you never allow yourself to just fall off. Because when you allow yourself to just fall off, right, that is where insecurity creeps in. Yeah? because now you fear losing your partner. You should never be you should never be fearful of losing the person you're with, right? Because if you're fearful of losing the person you're with, then that means you're not sure about yourself nor the person you're with. You're wasting your time. You're going to constantly be in a state of anxiety, in a state of stress and worry on a constant basis, which is very toxic, which is what this video is about. So you want to raise your self-esteem. How do you raise your self-esteem? It depends on where you're struggling. If you're fat or you feel like you're overweight, then you work on your diet. You get in the gym, you get in shape. That's going to immediately increase your self-esteem. Whatever it is, you need to address it and not use that as a crutch for staying in a toxic relationship. Third point, or the third reason, unresolved trauma. Unresolved trauma. What is unresolved trauma? Unresolved, the definition of unresolved is something that was never fully handled to the root. The root cause was never found or dealt with. Trauma is when you go through some sort of pain or hurtful experience that, it dents you emotionally, and makes it difficult for you to move on freely with your life, because it's something that you constantly reflect on, and then it would affect you at an energetic level. So perhaps you came from a series of bad relationships, and you're just determined to make this one work. So regardless of how toxic it is, you're gonna just stay, which makes absolutely no sense, because at the end of the day, you're not doing yourself any favors. You must always be putting yourself first, no matter what. Of course, every relationship will have its ups and downs, but if someone's constantly being a toxic presence in your life, you need to remove that toxic person or remove yourself, or else that will end up very, very ugly for somebody, for sure. What's the next reason here, Mo? Oh, yes, this one, yeah. I'm not going to say the word because I don't want YouTube to strike my channel, and especially now that it's monetized, I have to be so careful with what I say, so I'm going to say it this way, S3X, for those who don't know, or lust. I get it, the D is really good, I get it, the P is really good, but is it really worth your peace of mind though? Like after that 15, 20, half an hour, whatever, I don't care how long it was, how many rounds you went, if that's the only thing that's keeping you in that relationship, if you remove that, what do you have? What do you have? If you remove the lust, if you remove this S3X, a 3 is a backward E. What do you have? Nothing. So you're just having empty S3X, wasting your energy. So I know this is one of the reasons why especially females may choose to remain in toxic relationships, but you can get past that toxic relationship and find someone else that can put it on even better. You just need to stop looking at yourself at the lowest esteem and start to raise the bar and rate yourself higher than you are currently though. Like, you deserve the best of the best, I mean, if you come to terms and realize you need to work on yourself seriously, you have some areas of your life that seriously needs to improve, and that may be the reason why you're experiencing this toxic relationship. Now that's a different story. But if for a fact you know that you're on point, you're doing what you need to do, but this person is just constantly gaslighting you, narcissist type, and unsupportive, constant negative energy. No, that's a very unhealthy environment to be in. You could never thrive in such an environment. And then on top of that, you're having 3x. You're exchanging that love energy with someone that's so toxic. You know what an exchange is, right? I take what you have, you take what I have. That's what an exchange is. So if you're toxic, and now we're exchanging. If I'm not toxic and you're toxic and we're exchanging, that means I'm taking on your toxic energy and you're taking on my pure energy. Another reason why people choose to remain in toxic relationships, worried about public judgment. 11:11. What do you mean by that, Mo? Simple. Okay, so especially when it becomes a relationship that holds a certain status, as in like a lot of people know that you all are together, right? What I realize tend to happen is, so just because of the fact that you have been together for a long time, you don't want to, and the relationship is toxic, you don't want to walk away because of the fear of hearing I break up, and just the whole social media and the whole publicity thing. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, what you choose to do with your life, especially when it comes to your peace of mind, should never ever be influenced by what the public think or says. Ever. Their opinion should never matter. So if you're in a toxic relationship and that's one of the reasons why you don't want to leave, understand that whether or not you choose to leave or not because of your fear of what the public's going to say, understand that the same public really do not care. They will talk, but for how long? Why should your peace of mind have any bearing on that minuscule topic, though? Next point. Reason why some people may end up in toxic relationships, straight up, karma. Maybe you were in some relationship before in which you were being toxic to your partner. Maybe you were treating them like shit, and you thought that, it was all fun and games when you was doing it, and you perhaps did it over and over and over and over. And for those people who still think that karma is just a word, it's a real thing, right? So if you were caught up in that and you find yourself in a toxic relationship right now, it could be because of that, and you may need to cleanse yourself spiritually, remove those karmic blockages in order for you to, hopefully attract a pure relationship again. But karma can also be a reason why. So, karma. Next point, convenience or safety. Yeah, so this is another reason why perhaps some may choose to remain in toxic relationships or end up in toxic relationships due to convenience or safety. Could be financially, could be physically, Got some females that like to be with these drug lords because they feel safe. Even though the relationship may be toxic, he may be slapping up, all that, but she feels safe, and the money coming in, so it's like, hey, I'm good. But are you really good, though? Are you really good, though? First of all, your life is always at risk because you don't know who's going to kick down that door, come in to look for them same drugs that he's going out to sell to bring home that money for you. Have you ever thought about that? And you choosing to remain in a toxic relationship due to convenience or safety, is quite frankly pathetic, because you do not need to accept any toxicity from anybody in exchange for safety. What? Your perspective is what needs to change, and you realize how silly that really is, though. Next point, leverage or legal advantages. And I guess, we all would know where I'm going with this. As an example, you're married, legally, and your relationship is toxic, but you don't want to leave because perhaps, the benefits or whatever, you don't want to use whatever advantages of being married, so you choose to remain in a toxic relationship. And I'm very, very sure there's a high percentile of people that may fall in this bracket, which I can understand to a certain extent, especially when you have children involved. However, the whole point of this video is me trying to stress that your peace of mind should never, ever be exchanged for anything else, because that's your greatest form of wealth. And regardless of all the reasons here listed, none of them are ever going to be worth or could come close to your peace of mind and you being happy within yourself and the person that you're with, because understand that the person that you choose to spend the rest of your life with will have a huge impact on your success and or your failure. How far you reach in life has a lot to do with the partner you choose. And when it comes to starting a family, it goes way deeper. Fellas, if you're gonna start a family with her, you gotta ensure that she got those qualities, those motherly qualities. Ladies, if you're gonna start a family with him, you gotta make sure he got those fatherly qualities. If not, you're wasting your time. You're definitely heading down the road to misery. And then you'll be stuck in a toxic relationship. And I'm very, very sure that it's going to end up being one of these 9 reasons that I'm mentioning right now. The last one, toxic attract toxic. You always attract who and what you are. Bottom line. So if you're in a toxic relationship, there's a huge possibility that you're also toxic. So you would also need to address that. And with that being said, these are 9 reasons why perhaps, because it could have other reasons. I understand the power of the 3, the 6, and the 9. So I would always give 3, 6, or 9 reasons when it comes to these type of videos. But if you know any other reasons, maybe you going through it, leave a comment below, let me know. I hope this video helps someone, and I hope that if you're in a toxic relationship, I inspired you to, first of all, you try to address it with your partner if you haven't done so already. And if you know deep down that there's no turning back from this, take that leap of faith and leave. Your life depends on it. There are over 1 billion people in this world. Why settle for being with one person for the rest of your life and living in misery? You need to think deeply about that. I'd like you to hit that like button. I'd like you to also share this video. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. You already know it's Molove. Until next time.